fire ignites passion and creativity. Free your imagination with the slim, sleek, and beautiful new Huawei P8.
On a high hill overlooking Pretoria is a castle, anything but nondescript. It's a castle with turrets and everything. But inside it is being run a really remarkable technological miracle of sorts. It is free Tshwane Wi-Fi. And Project Isizwe is the brainchild of a serial entrepreneur we've had on the show before, Alan Knott Craig. And here we are. I mean, it's not until you see, firstly, the kind of surrealness of the high site and the size of the knock and how much you're running that you get an idea of what a remarkable project this is.
Yeah, thanks. Look, I have to visit every now and again to remind myself that it's even over here. But the Tshwane free Wi-Fi network is no joke. There's over 630 sites now, all over the city. 700,000 people have connected, so to run that you need a pretty serious operating setup.
I mean, it's really significant. I mean, you can see from the footage that they're geeks with headphones, looking at monitors with numbers, and I mean the fact that all of the buses are wired up as Wi-Fi hotspots is really world class.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of guys based here, but there's almost 100 guys on the road as well, and buckies driving around, deploying sites, making sure they're working, making sure that we're raising awareness on the ground. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, this is world-class, carrier-grade telco stuff, and the city of Tshwane is leading the way for public Wi-Fi.
So just take us through how it works and what it does. Everyone can log on each day, they get a free amount of access, but you've enabled a kind of California Google-like internet access that most cities just don't provide.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the trick is no strings, no usernames, no passwords, no advertising. You find Tshwane free Wi-Fi all over the city in those 630 places. You click on that SSID and you go straight to a landing page called TechBusters, which kind of helps you get through the internet. And from there you break out. The average speeds of about 7 megs per second.
Okay.
But we give the guys a 250 meg cap per day per device, so we try to avoid abuse in that way. But for the most part, nobody's really hitting their cap and everyone's getting online,
And what kind of usage patterns are you seeing? Are there sophisticated users, first-time users discovering it and becoming sophisticated?
Well, if you're under the age of 30, we don't have to tell you anything about the internet.
True that.
And most guys are going to YouTube looking at music videos. We've got a hell of a lot of traffic going to the Shoshingove campus for Tshwane University of Technology, so quite a lot of educational use. And I think jobs. So guys are looking for jobs in Gumtree, people are sending emails, CVs, all of that stuff. If you're over the age of 30, there's a lot more kind of fear of technology, and that's why we need TechBusters, just to help people kind of get through the technology fear.
And then talk us through the network, which of course is the infrastructure to make it possible. Behind us are these are the screens of cameras on each of your sites, relaying live video of what they see. But I mean, Corne was telling me earlier that you've got fiber connecting each of the bus base stations. I mean, this is a serious bit of enterprise.
Yeah. Well, Tshwane is the biggest geographic municipality in the Southern Hemisphere, and we cover all the way from Bronkhorstspruit to Hammanskraal to Centurion. It's a big triangle, and we have to connect all those sites up using either fiber or microwave. The nice thing about the castle is it's a very high site, so we can get microwave to almost all parts of the city to do the backhaul, and then fiber for the rest. So when we build a base station, we've got to go out, find a building, put a little antenna on the building, plug it into electricity, and then make sure that internet traffic can get back to the middle. But the bigger the Tshwane free Wi-Fi network gets, the faster it gets and the more reliable it gets. Because the network thrives off size and scale.
Exactly.
So you get lots of redundancy in the network. The more sites we have, the more fallback we have in the event of a big link going down.
And I suppose there's a network effect of this network effect in that you've had interest from other cities, and I mean, all they've got to do is see how this functions and how efficient it is to be sold.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at our cost of Connect at the moment, it's in 17 months since we've started deploying, our cost per gig is reduced by about 19%.
Okay.
But our average speeds have remained at 7 megs per second. So without affecting performance, our economies of scale result in the city having to spend less money.
I mean, 7 megs is faster than I used to get for spending 1,000 Rand a month to get a Telkom 10 meg line. I'd be lucky if I got 6 megs, and even then it was inconsistent. I mean, that's a pretty serious undertaking for everybody, right? There are no entrance requirements, anyone, anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, people think that's a little bit too much to ask for. I think it's not enough to ask for. So we're aiming for 10 meg per second by the end of August on average. And by this time next year, we'll be looking at 20, 25 megs per second. So the shortage in the country is not capacity. We've got a lot of fiber in the country. It's all under the ground, a lot of undersea capacity. The problem is no one's tapping into it, it's particularly in rural communities and low-income communities like the townships. And all we do is we have a model where we go to telcos, we help them sweat the bandwidth that they haven't made any return on, but they've made an investment on, and we work with the municipality to make sure we don't spend money unnecessarily.
And this is, of course, where you keep monitoring the network.
You can see the castles in the middle over there.
Okay.
And if something goes wrong, you can always see if it's important or not. The Ligue wave castle to French, if something goes wrong with that link, a lot of our network goes down because we don't have redundancy going back around.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's our dashboard. So it shows how many unique users we've had today since 0 a.m.
Yeah. So this is the base station that makes all of this possible.
So this is the 4th iteration of our assembly for every access point that put it on the Tshwane free Wi-Fi network. All of these boxes are assembled here, actually designed and manufactured here in Robertson. And then inside we put the imported equipment. So we've got some equipment from Robertson in the States, we've got some routers, etc. We've got some power cables so that the city can plug in the electricity without anything going wrong. And then it gets secured like that with a little Allen key. These are the Wi-Fi transmitters. This is a radius of about 100 meters. It just blasts Wi-Fi out there. So if you're within 100 meters of this guy, you're going to get internet, no problem.
So how is it that you fund something as you know, this is a big operation. How is it possible?
Well, the city of Tshwane pays us a lot of money, and we deploy network on their behalf. We make sure it works for a full 3-year period, and there's a lot of costs that come with that. As a non-profit organization, we don't have an incentive to save money or to pay dividends. We just pour that money into the network. We buy equipment from America, we find local installers, local businesses help us with the wireless installations. And then when it comes to fiber, in the case of Tshwane, we actually buy a lot of fiber from Neartel. So we're a funnel, we're effectively a project manager, making the city's dreams of universal access to the internet a reality by connecting them to the private sector.
And of course, this is just the latest in a series of entrepreneurial successes that you've had. I know you cringe when I bring this up, but you really are. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, a serial entrepreneur. I mean, it's just a validation of that old South African maxim that you can't keep a good man down, right?
You can't keep an unemployable guy out of business. No, I don't really have any options out there. I think I'm damaged goods when it comes to working for someone. But yeah, this is my next iteration, and so far so good.
Yeah, very good. Well, Alan Knott Craig, there's nothing not about you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, and Mazel Tov and good luck.